Right. Hello, everybody. Mike Leach here, aka Punk Floyd Four Eyes, for the Total Hi-Fi Experience. This is The Talk, and I am here with Ravi Velnati from Final Electrostatic Speakers, and we're going to be getting into the nitty-gritty about electrostatic speakers, and also we are looking forward to getting to hear them live at the show this June 6th through 8th. in Costa Mesa, California. If you haven't got your tickets yet, you can go over to theshownow.com. You can get your tickets over there. You can use my code. It's actually all the ambassadors' codes. It's their code too. It is ambassador 2025 2025, and you can get your tickets there. Welcome, Ravi. I'm so grateful to get to see you again. I got to meet you last year at the show and got to check out the Final Audio Electrostatic Speakers, and everyone was really enjoying them. I like to start off the show a little bit, getting to know the person behind the scenes. Ravi Velnati is the U.S. distributor for Final Audio Electrostatic Speakers, and let's get to know him a little bit. So what got you into audio and hi-fi in the first place? Like, was it a person in your life, or was it just the love of music? What got you into hi-fi and audio?
Thank you for asking, Mike, and hello. Glad to be here at the show, and I'm a big fan of the show. I had lots of fun at the venue last year, and it's an audiophile centric event, and we had a great time connecting with a whole bunch of audiophiles. And
it was
yes,
a great
it was fun. So coming to the hobby, how I got into it, I grew up, I'm a Gen Xer, and I grew up on the Sony Walkman, if you will, in the 80s. So,
yep.
if you will.
I did as well.
It's all cassettes, records, 80s music, Michael Jackson, Madonna, all those goodies. And I grew up in India. I immigrated from India as an automotive engineer, and I did my master's in engineering here in the US. I worked for GM for 25 years in engineering, automotive product development. And
awesome.
Audio has always been my hobby, and it has helped me enjoy life better, if you will. And Michigan being the cold weather state, you go to work in the dark and come back in the dark.
Yep.
And audio is the motivator that would help me cheer up for the day and help me relax in the evening after work.
I hear that. My friend Audio Java, Todd, also was from Michigan, and he's definitely was in the same boat.
Thank you. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
so
I relate with you as well, being a Gen Xer. You know, I had my Sony Walkman. I had the one that had the extra bass and the EQ on it. You know, and I'd be riding around doing my paper route, throwing papers and listening to music, and I listened to a lot of music that way initially, and then we upgraded later.
Definitely, but audio has been my number 2 hobby, along with cars, automotive. So I made my hobbies my career, essentially. The first part of my life, I had automotive industry. I worked in the automotive industry. Now I'm more focused on the audio side and automotive as a secondary. I'm still in the industry as a consultant. Yes.
So you had a background with GM doing engineering. Have you translated any of that into your audio hobby with the engineering side of things at all?
Absolutely. In fact, I was heavily involved in choosing the right premium audio systems for Cadillac and Corvette.
Awesome.
So we did benchmarking, where we compared all the premium audio systems in luxury cars. using professional software, microphones, both objective as well as subjective analysis. And we help Cadillac choose the right audio system, the multi-channel system.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I was talking with some of the guys with the car show that were going on at Iosca at the Lone Star Audio Fest, and one of the guys that was telling me how he would calibrate his car literally with the same kind of software that we would typically use to calibrate our rooms, put microphones in there and dial it into his listening position, and it was really cool to realize that, you know, the car audio world isn't so far off from the home audio world in that, you know, aspect.
Absolutely. Many premium audio systems use Dirac or Odyssey, all those room correction systems that we are familiar with in the home environment. Yes.
That's awesome. So what got you connected with Final Audio Electrostatic Speakers? The company is based in the Netherlands.
Yes. So it's a long story, but my hobby, as part of my hobby, I was exposed to a lot of audio shows and a lot of different speaker technologies. The one that really made me happy are the planar speakers. Think Magnapan, Martin Logan, Apogees, all the different planar speakers. So I started my mission with planar speakers, enjoying different brands, trying out different brands, my journey. And throughout my journey, I tried many planar magnetics, ribbon speakers, as well as electrostatics. And I was a customer of Final Audio 20 years ago. And that relationship kind of continued. I had a multi-channel system back in the early 2000s from Final Audio. And that relationship continued. And when the time came for Final Audio to relaunch the brand in the US market, we had a collaboration, and it went from there.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Last year, was that your first time showing at an audio show, or was that just your first time showing at the Total HiFi Experience?
So we have launched the Final Audio brand at Expo last year.
Okay.
Chicago. And I heard so many good things about the show. And I made my decision to demonstrate at the show in the last minute, just 2 weeks before the show started. And thanks to extreme help and support from Daryl, I was able to get the room and join the show. And we just drove to the show, me and my 12-year-old son. We packed all the gear into the U-Haul truck and we just drove. And that's how it happened.
We were really glad that you made that decision last minute to come to the show, and I think that there was a really good response to the Final Audio Electrostatic Speakers, and the room was definitely packed with people. It was hard to get in there to get a moment to listen because everyone wanted to check them out, and I think that one of the things I noticed right off the bat is the design was very, very clean, aesthetically kind of minimalist, but would really be great in any design space, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. But they were very beautiful looking speakers. I would love to build a nice minimalist system with those, but they're really cool.
Yeah, thank you. Electrostatics are, from a pure technical standpoint, they have unique attributes. They are the lowest mass diaphragms.
Mm-hmm.
So the inertia of the moving diaphragm is the lowest in the entire audio industry, and which gives us the best transient response, the best frequency characteristics, the most uniform, lowest distortion sound. And our final mission statement is to bring the design-centric speakers into the living room. So from the man cave into the living room. So the entire family can enjoy the speakers both visually and sonically. That's the goal.
They definitely nailed the visual side of it and the sonic side of it as well. I know that Daryl got to spend some good time with them as well, and he's a big electrostatic speaker guy as well, and he had nothing but great things to say about them. I was trying to get in there to listen, but it was so packed. I remember I did get to help help you out quite a bit, getting some stuff moved around, and it was great getting to meet you and your son.
Thank you, Mike. So this year, thanks to Daryl's advice, I was able to procure a larger room so we can accommodate more visitors, more audiophiles, and we can accommodate both stereo and a multi-channel Dolby Atmos, all electrostatic systems in the same room.
That's going to be awesome.
That is
I hear you're going to have some help this year.
Yes, I have both local help coming from California, local audiophiles, who I met at the show. They have graciously coming in to help me out, unload and set up the room. And I'm also getting help from the Arizona Audio Club. Joe Goswami will be joining me as well. Yes.
That's awesome. I got to interview Joe a couple weeks ago. He's a really cool guy. I got to meet him actually at the Lone Star Audio Fest for the first time. Really enjoyed getting to meet him and spent a lot of quality time with Joe. He's a good guy.
Thank you. And Joe and I will be driving the U-Haul this time together.
That's awesome.
So we'll be seeing you in a couple of days.
I was going to ask you to tell me a little bit about the different speaker models that Final Audio supplies. And I noticed there was a couple different models, and there was a hybrid model as well.
Yes. So to summarize, we start with the smallest speaker, which is the Model 1. Model 1 is essentially it could be a desktop speaker, a stereo setup, or it could be used as a wall mount Dolby Atmos height speaker.
Okay.
It's 2 feet tall and maybe 11 inches wide, 12 foot wide. And essentially you can use it as the Dolby Atmos height speakers, all electrostatic, no hybrid. It's a pure panel design. It starts at 150 hertz, goes all the way to 40 kilohertz. So that's the Model 1. And then we have from there, the wall mount panels, basically the Model 3, Model 5, Model 7. They're all rectangular panels. And they're extremely light. All of our panels are the lightest in their respective segments. Just to give a perspective, the Model 35, our flagship, is the lightest full-range speaker in the world. It weighs only 66 pounds, and it's 83 inches tall, almost 7 feet tall.
Wow.
And it weighs only 66 pounds, so which is the lightest in the entire industry.
And then your hybrid series, that's the electrostats, and then those are paired with a subsection. Is that correct?
Yes. So the Model 3, Model 5, and Model 7. Model 3 is 4 feet tall. Model 5 is 54 inches tall, 4.5 feet. And Model 7 is 5 feet tall. They can all be had with hybrid drivers. Essentially, you have an 8-inch woofer paired with a panel in the Model 3 and a 10-inch woofer in the Model 5 and Model 7. And the most redeeming attribute of our hybrids is that they have the lowest crossover point of any hybrid in the industry. So an example, the Model 7 crosses over to the woofer at 90 hertz, 90, which is very low. It is the lowest in the segment. And the advantage is none of your voices leak into the dynamic driver. all the voices, all the mid-range is completely coming from the panel. So there is no muddying of the sound from two different driver technologies. That's an advantage.
Definitely.
And
we have oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, and then those are all the smaller speakers. They all need subwoofers to make them full range. So 1, 3, 5, 7. The Model 12, 15, and 35 are full range speakers. They're floor standing full ranges. They do not need a subwoofer. Subwoofer is optional. That's what they are. Yes.
We had a question in the chat. Comes from Audio Acoustic Engineering. He's a fellow ambassador for the Total Hi-Fi Experience. He was asking, what amplification and electronics are you bringing to the show this year, Ravi?
So I have 2 different amplifier companies that I'm representing at the show this year. Costa Technologies from Sacramento, California, which was an offshoot of the old and famous Threshold brand. And it was started by Nelson Pass. So Threshold basically divided into Pass Labs and Costa Technologies. The engineering team went separate ways after Nelson Pass has retired. And Costa is famous for their very capable amplifiers, Class A, Class AB amplifiers. And they pair really well with electrostatic speakers. Please keep in mind that electrostatic speakers have a unique load characteristic compared to traditional dynamic speakers or even magnepans, ribbon speakers. Electrostatic speakers present a difficult load, especially in the lower impedances. They act like capacitors. They absorb the amplifier's power. So you need a very stable power supply and lots of transistors in the output stage to be able to drive the lower impedances. And Costa will be able to do that. And I also have Stark Sound. It's also a company from California. It's a newer company, and it is very unique in that they offer Class A, AB amplification for multi-channel applications. So I will be showcasing Stark Sound amplifiers for the multi-channel system.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you for that question, Scotty.
Thank you, Scott.
So tell me a little bit more about Final Audio, the company from the Netherlands, and their background. And I also wanted to know a little bit about the people behind the scenes of the company as well.
Sure. Our founder, Martin Smits, has started the company 35 years ago. In fact, Model 35, our flagship speaker, is called 35 to celebrate the 35th anniversary of Final Audio. They were initially very popular in Europe. They did launch in the US market as Final Sound back in the early 2000s. It was launched through the big electronics conglomerate, Philips.
Okay.
And later, Philips pulled out of the market and Final Sound left with them. But we relaunched the brand again in the US market last year in 2024 as Final Audio. It used to be called Final Sound.
Okay.
And all the speakers are designed, they're all new designs, ground up, all new designs with new panel technologies, very innovative transformer technologies, and we use an acrylic panel for the diaphragm material.
Okay.
And which makes it the lightest speaker in the industry. We have aluminum frames combined with acrylic panels, kind of like an airplane, if you will. Very light. The power to weight ratio is extremely high. So that's what we have. And as far as technologies, our diaphragm is unique in that we use a material called TNX. TNX is only 6 microns thick, but it is extremely tough compared to the traditional mylar that's used by our competitors. It's more durable. It's resistant to light, heat, dust, and UV radiation. And incidentally, the TNX membrane, the same film is used on windshields of airplanes. So as the plane goes through the clouds, you have the static electricity, which is dissipated through the film, so the windshield is not clouded by the static. So it's a conductive film. And we use the exact same film in the speakers as the membrane, and which gives us that all the durability and the toughness and aerospace tested diaphragm.
What was your first experience with T.H.E. like, getting to show the speakers this last year in Costa Mesa?
It was a very pleasant experience. I was pleasantly surprised how audiophile centric the show is. I can give a few reasons why. The rooms are bigger compared to Exponent. The rooms actually sound better because of the dimensions. And you can open the windows and see palm trees. So I left the windows open. And it gives you a different vibe to the whole listening experience. Rather than having closed rooms or closed windows with dark screens and artificial lighting, we can allow the natural light to flow through, and everyone can have a very enjoyable listening experience, open air type of experience, which I think people really liked. Yes,
I love when people are concerned, are thoughtful about the aesthetics of how they set up their listening space as well, and having some light, having some, some plants, having some things like that help beautify things. We walk into a room, it feels inviting, and I felt invited into your room, and even though the crowd made it hard to get in. So this year is going to be awesome that you get more space. I'm looking forward to I'm also excited for the fact that you actually have some assistance this year. Oh, Daryl is hanging out with us. He just popped into the chat. He said he was a part of the crowd and he was happy to be there.
Hi, Daryl. Yes. But the other thing that I really liked about the show is that audiophiles are actually there. They're not stressed in the sense that they're not trying to cover 300 rooms. So they're not spending 10 minutes and then running to the next room. And at the show, it was more laid back. People came to listen, sit down, listen, and relax to the music. And whoever was there, they spent 30 minutes, an hour, sometimes 2-3 hours. Whoever liked the speakers, they just stayed on. And I really liked that. And I was able to connect with the audiophiles in the room, which is very different. Yes.
It's one of the things initially, I came to the show for the first time as just somebody going to a show I'd never been to an audio show before. I went to T.H.E. and I went to the Long Beach show before we transitioned over to Costa Mesa. And the thing that I experienced was just that it felt inviting. Every time I went into a room, people were like, "Hey, what do you want to listen to? Is there anything you want to hear?" They were very, it just felt like very warm, and I love the fact that I got opportunity not to only get to know the exhibitors and distributors. I got to know other audiophiles that I connected with and made friendships with. And it's just such a great experience. That it's a family oriented show on top of it. So you see, families there with their kids and their spouses. And it's just, it's a different. I think it's meant to be different. I think that by design the show is different, and I enjoyed the fact that your experience was a good one, and some of the things that I experienced the first time I went to a show were very similar.
Nice. The fun thing is when we give the remote for the streamer and let the younger audiophiles, the teenagers, talk into the streamer's remote and choose their song, and the reaction coming from the kids when they hear their most favorite songs on audiophile centric systems is priceless.
And that's
That's
the
my
thing.
favorite. Yes.
I'm glad that you're doing that, because if we don't pass this hobby on to the next generation, where's it going to go? I do have to say, locally, when I go into my record stores, I'm seeing lots of teenagers. I'm seeing lots of college age kids in there thumbing through, going up to the register, buying vinyl. They want to own something physical again, even though they're still streaming. They're still doing that as well, but it's exciting because there's a whole nother generation of younger people that are going to be going, hey, I kind of want to listen to my records a little better, and then they're gonna make that jump up to the next step, and then they're gonna go down the rabbit hole of spending money to get more audio gear.
The interesting thing I have to share regarding the younger audiophiles is that they grew up on headphones, just like we did, our Gen Xers. We grew up on headphones as well. But they have access to much, much better, higher quality planar and electrostatic headphones. And for them to jump from a planar electrostatic headphone to a planar electrostatic speaker is an easy jump. They can see the quality of the sound, they can experience it, they can hear it, they can hear the benefits, and it's an easy transition. And half my customers are under 35, so which is an interesting demographic.
That's awesome. I like to hear that, because I always wonder, my kids, I mean, you just said it, like, we grew up listening on headphones a lot, and I had a boombox that I listened to a lot as well.
Yes.
And so that was our music enjoyment and our music time, our listening time. And then when I went to mess with my dad's audio system, that was the higher end system to get to listen to CDs on, or vinyl, or whatever whatever we've had at the time, which is usually all the cassettes were usually mine. CDs and vinyl were in dad's collections.
Yes. And we're truly living in the golden age of high-end audio, because never before was so much high quality audio music available to anyone.
We have access to so much right now, and I mean, I listen to every format that I can. And when I use Qobuz mostly when I do my streaming, and it's so awesome to be able to just think of something, go search for it and find it, and be able to listen to it, and be able to listen to it in higher quality than I've ever heard it before, even if I hadn't listened to it since the late 80s, and I listen to it now, it's like, whoa, I don't remember hearing that on my cassette tape. Or we have access to a lot, and it's really it's not limited by anything, because no matter what tastes you have, if you like vinyl, you can buy vinyl. If you like streaming, you can stream. If you're still in CDs, which I think are coming back, and they are, then you can listen on CDs.
Yes. And I want to share a little trick on Qobuz that anyone watching this show can experience. If you search for audiophile, the term audiophile on Qobuz, hundreds of playlists are available to you. They come up, And all these playlists are curated by the most premium high-end audio manufacturers at different shows. So you have hundreds of playlists, and you have access to so much curated, well-curated, well-chosen audiophile-centric songs or tracks available to you. And you can rediscover so much music, which you have never hit before.
That's how I've found a lot of the tracks that I'll use to test my system with when I do setup and as well. I have a few go-tos that aren't on some of those lists as well, but I try to share those with people too, so that, hey, I have this one too. You might want to check that one out as well. Which kind of is a great segue. I wanted to ask you, because again, I like to get to know a little more about the person. We found out that you were an engineer. You worked with GM. You were involved in some of the audio side of cars as well in that. And also, I wanted to ask you a bit more about your musical tastes, what you like to listen to. You talked a little bit about when you were younger, being Gen X, listened to a lot of Michael Jackson and songs of that era. What are some of your favorites from that time, and what are you currently listening to?
I love to explore new genres of music, and there is so much available now for us to explore, especially in the electronic music category. The new electronic music, the types of electronic music that you can get, the atmospheric music, the background music. You can move. I mean, I love classic rock, things that we grew up with, starting from Pink Floyd, Def Leppard, AC/DC, all the good stuff.
Yes.
And then moving on to the 80s music. I enjoy it all, but the most enjoyable experience comes from discovering new types of music. And because the music now is so well recorded, you can enjoy it in a, what should I say, more intimate way. So the more open you are to discovering new music, the more enjoyable the experience is.
I definitely agree with you there. I have a philosophy when it comes to music. It's be musically diverse. And I think as Gen Xers, we were exposed to a pretty wide gamut of genres over the years. And I know for me, I listened to everything from classical all the way to heavy metal and everything in between, bluegrass, electronic music, and rock, everything I can get my hands on. And then I don't like to pigeonhole myself into one genre anymore. And one of the things I did, because like you, I started to appreciate electronic music because my son was getting into it, and I wanted to experience that with him, and he wanted to learn how to produce it. So we worked on that together, and I got to have a good appreciation for that. Besides the fact that, a lot of the music we were listening to from the 80s, up to the 90s was pretty heavily electronic.
Yes. I mean, my son's favorites, many of them are Latin music, Spanish, and he learns. I mean, he takes Spanish classes. I do not know Spanish at all, but I still enjoy the music. You don't have to understand the lyrics to enjoy music. That's the most interesting part. You can enjoy any music from any different language and still be able to enjoy it, because it's the tune, the rhythm, and the way the music is recorded that makes it enjoyable.
I definitely agree with you. I love to listen to, like Brazilian jazz, and even Japanese music as well. I listen to a lot of different stuff where it's not all in a language that I necessarily understand, even though the only other language I do understand minutely is Spanish. So listening to Latin, listening to Latin jazz, I can comprehend bits and pieces of it, because I'm not great conversational with it. I can read it well.
There you go. Yes. Yes, that's wonderful.
Let's see. I had one more comment I wanted to let you know about. Scotty in the chat says, "I can't wait to listen to Final Audio's Room in stereo and in multi-channel this year. It's coming this weekend. We're not too far off from it."
Yes. Well, I would love to welcome all the audiophiles, young and not so young, all demographics, all age groups, to our room and experience not just traditional stereo two-channel audio, but also multi-channel music. We will be demonstrating concerts, multi-channel Blu-ray concerts, so you could experience the high quality sound in multi-channel. You can recreate a concert hall experience literally using a concert Blu-ray disc.
Mm-hmm.
That's my goal.
One of the things I wanted to ask you, because you were talking about how you're going to do multi-channel audio this year, and some of the designs of the speakers, how much space do you need behind those when you're mounting them? Is there a certain amount of space, or is it just like you can just mount them right to the wall?
The key is to give them some breathing room,
Mm-hmm.
at least a foot. And you can always make the speakers breathe better by towing them in, by adjusting the angle, the toe-in angle, 30 degrees to 45 degrees to the wall behind. You could actually make them sound better. A better sound stage, better imaging, because the stats in general, they have their dipoles, and you have sound coming from the front as well as the back. You're listening to the front wave as well as the reflected back wave, and they're designed to be presented that way. So we need to experiment by using different toe-in angles and distance between the back wall to get the best sound.
Okay. Yeah, I have being mildly familiar with electrostatic speakers. I knew that you needed some space, as they the dipole design needs a little bit of that to get the best out of them. So,
and the most quality of multi-channel sound on electrostatics is that you could hear the detail, the decay of notes, or the tiniest noises, like a singer taking the breath in before she starts singing. Things that are missed in lesser speaker technologies, you can hear that. So it is a difference between looking at a picture on a TV versus looking at the actual scenery through the window.
I love that about electrostatic speakers, because I like to hear all the little things, the little cough in the back of the room, and it sounds like it's there. Especially in those live settings. I'm really excited actually to get to hear the multi-channel setup with the electrostats, because I haven't experienced that yet. I haven't got to experience a couple different Martin Logan speakers and some True Audio speakers, and then there was the Magnepans. So I got to experience all of those, and I've liked every experience I've had with those so far. So I'm looking forward to getting to hear the Final Audio speakers again, but more intently. Last time I got to hear them in passing. So.
Yes. The fatigue factor is the lowest. You can hear all the detail at low volume. You don't have to turn up the volume with the stats. And because of that, your irritation level or the fatigue levels are non-existent. You can listen to them all day without getting tired. That's the best part.
That's something that's attracted to me, because I have horn speakers, and horn speakers are very immediate, and they can get fatiguing. So sometimes I have to be like, okay, time to not listen for a minute.
Yes. Yeah, there is so much, there's the difference between listening to music as background music versus getting goosebumps while listening to music. The engagement factor.
Oh, and, yeah. If it doesn't have the the smile factor for me. If I walk into a room and I listen to the speakers and they make me smile, they get me emotional. Those are speakers that I want when that happens.
Yes. Looking forward to a very engaging listening experience in our room and sharing the enjoyment with all the audio files.
Well, people. I want to let everyone know, like you got to get to Ravi's room to listen to the Final Audio electrostatic speakers that are made in the Netherlands, designed in the Netherlands, and I do have to say it's going to be the room that everyone's going to want to be getting into. There's a lot of rooms that everyone's going to want to be getting into there, but you're going to want to get there and check it out because there's something to experience for sure.
Thank you, Mike. Looking forward to it, and let's have some fun at the show.
Yeah, we're gonna have a blast. One of the things that we like to do is we get to hang out with everybody, not just experiencing their rooms, but we get to have a lot of quality time, getting to know people and mingle and eat food together while we're there. And so I look forward to getting to have that time with you while we're there as well. I'm glad that Joe is going to be there assisting as well. He's a great guy, and I think he's going to be super helpful to you. And I know that he's going to have. Is he going to have some stuff in your room as well?
Yes, we will be demonstrating Argent Pure.
Argent Pure,
a brand that makes silver cables, silver interconnects, as well as monoblocks. Class D monoblock amplifiers.
Okay.
All with silver cabling. So that's the redeeming attribute. And silver cables bring out the best with electrostatics and their amplification. The tiniest detail.
I'm excited to get to hear everything this June 6th through 8th at the show in SoCal, Costa Mesa, California. And we're going to be there. Gosh, I'll be flying in on a Wednesday. And so I'll be there pretty early, and I'm looking forward to getting to see everybody there. And you're going to be able to see Ravi and get to hear the Final Audio electrostatic speakers. And you're going to get to experience all the amazing gear and hi-fi equipment that the show has to offer. All these amazing exhibitors and distributors are going to be there ready to show you what they have and assist you with what you want to listen to. That's the cool thing about it. It's a family show. It's a fun show. It's one of the best experiences I've ever had at an audio show. So, I might be biased because I'm an ambassador, but I'm not just saying it because I have to. I'm saying it because I really feel that way. And being a part of this, being a part of the Total Hi-Fi experience has been an amazing experience for me. But Ravi, I really appreciate you being here for the talk, and thank you so much for sharing about the electrostatic speakers with Final Audio. I'm excited for you to get to have all these people get to connect with you and the speakers that you're going to be bringing. May your journey be safe and be blessed. I pray that you have a safe journey, and I will look forward to seeing you face to face at the show in just a few days.
Yes. We will be traveling all Wednesday to be there by Thursday morning. And please feel free to stop by and ask us to play your most favorite music tracks so you can hear details that and rediscover your favorite music all over again on our speakers.
That's the thing, is like when I go into a room, I want to hear stuff I'm familiar with, the good songs, and I also choose some bad songs sometimes because I want to hear maybe that bad song was because of something I'm listening to.
Yes.
But I like to do that sometimes. But yeah, definitely make sure to stop by Ravi's room. He's a great guy, and Joe is going to be assisting as well. He's also a great guy, and looking forward to getting to hear those speakers. come to the show. If you haven't got your tickets yet, go to theshownow.com. You can get your tickets there. Use the code Ambassador 2025. That's 2025, and you get a discount off of your tickets. I don't know if there's hotel rooms still available. You might have to check or get a hotel close by if you're traveling. If you're local, you don't have to worry about it. You can drive home and you're all good. So thank you all for being here for the talk as part of the Total HiFi experience. Thank you, Ravi, so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you taking time with us, and I will look forward to seeing you in just a matter of days at the show. Thank you again, Ravi.
Thank you for the opportunity, Mike. And one last word, Dolby Atmos music streaming will be the hot ticket at our room. Yes.
Dolby Atmos, you heard it here first.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Take care. Bye for now.
Thank you.